We're gonna talk postpartum. Yeah, we just talked about the labor, birth, delivery. So if you haven't seen that, watch that first. But postpartum, I guess following the labor and delivery, I did not realize how much blood we're gonna just put it all out there.
Yes.
You lose so much blood that you're in diapers for a couple weeks, but like the diapers fill out quick. Like, and after you give birth, so sorry everybody, but it's like your body, when you get rid of the placenta, you have this huge open scab. Think about an open scab because it was attached to your wall and it's removed, so you're just purging like not only the blood from like the baby and the whatever, but like all of it.
I'm gonna stop you right here.
Yeah.
I'm afraid that like some kind of Men in Black version of moms is gonna come through the door and be like, don't tell the secret. No one will ever have babies.
It's crazy.
So how much blood are we talking you lose?
Well, what's scary about it is a lot of it comes out when you go to the bathroom. So you think it's a big toilet bowl full of blood, but it's mixed with your urine, and so but it scares you.
It's just all the periods you skipped.
Oh, totally, totally. In fact, the nurse will come and they say, don't flush the toilet after your first 3 pees because they want to make sure how much blood you're losing. Mark made the mistake of going into the bathroom on like the one or the second one. He was like, oh Jesus, like, are you okay? And I'm like, don't worry. Like, I was like beside myself that I still hadn't like told them what the nurses had told me. So yeah, and then you're in diapers and they're icing you. So they take like these big ice packs and they're icing you down there. And mind you, I didn't even tear. So can you imagine like if I torn, like then I'm gonna be like nursing also my stitches.
Did you have Mark change you just to get experience?
No.
Your diapers?
Wait,
No.
Did you?
It's like holding your legs up in the air like this.
Did you pee and poop in your diaper?
I didn't. No, you don't. You just pee in it.
Why not?
You can go.
Do you pee?
Oh no, you
I
don't
should
pee in
get
it.
some-
No,
It's
you
just to
don't.
absorb the
No,
blood.
no,
It's like a
you don't.
tampon,
No,
right?
it's just
That's
to
what I
absorb the
want.
blood.
It's like a big
Like,
tampon.
I
No,
don't
you can
care.
go pee. You can. I went pee. It's really hard to go number 2 because you're so sore down there. So
But like
they give
a
you
person
like
who is not pregnant, like myself, you could totally just
diaper
like,
it. I didn't do it, but no, you don't need
Just did in
to.
the
You could if
diaper.
you're like on a long road trip, sure.
There it is.
I have
And
this
a
bad habit
surgery.
of drinking right before I go to bed, and I always have to get up in the middle
Wait
of the
till
night.
you're pregnant, girl, because you get up like 6 times. But that all goes through the window, which is so cool. Right when you give birth, you're like, wow, I can breathe. I can like, cause like everything's free from you. Like you don't all of a sudden have to go to the bathroom all the time. All my aches and pains went away. But yeah, so you lose a lot of blood, you're in diapers, and then you bleed, it gets lighter and lighter, but you bleed all the way up until like a week ago. I finally like removed like the maxi pad like a week ago, which was crazy to me. And then you have the gnarliest, you sweat out all your fluids. So when you go to bed for like 3 weeks, like you have the gnarliest hot flashes because all the fluid that you had been retaining, your body needs to rid it, which is pretty phenomenal,
Yeah.
right?
Let it go,
It's pretty
body.
phenomenal, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I guess breastfeeding, like that's been really difficult. It's really hard because
Why?
for me, it was, I had a lactation consultant come over because first you have lactation consultants there at the hospital and they just make sure that the baby's latching, that your milk's coming in. First you get, whatever the yellow stuff is called, my brain is fried. But
Pus?
first you get, no.
I know what it's called.
You don't get, it's called, I wanna say meconium again, but that's the dark poo that the baby
Plasma.
goes. It's not plasma.
The dark poo.
So you get
Hey
like
Siri, what's the? Never mind.
you get the yellow stuff first, which is like her first like big like antibody, like literally.
Oh,
it's like,
bile.
no, it's he'll look it up, but it's actually like giving her kind of like a vaccine. Like it's like really like making her body like full of antibodies and making sure that she's strong, and then your milk slowly comes in. But anyway, so with me, I had an oversupply of milk. Oh, before we get to that, engorgement, dude.
Tell me about it.
Engorgement is so painful.
You wish.
It's so painful. It lasts 3 days because your body doesn't know if you had triplets, twins, or a single. So it produces all this milk to the point where your skin is tight, shiny, hurts so bad that I was icing them and warming them because it hurts so bad. And then finally 3 days later, as you're nursing your baby, your body's like, oh, she has one baby. So let's bring it down. So that was really painful. But then what was happening with me is I had something called overactive letdown for all the moms out there that may have experienced it. It's when your milk drops, you feel it. It's like little pricks. So your milk drops, the baby can smell it. Like all of a sudden Sophie will wake up and be like, oh, the milk's there. And so your milk drops, it's crazy. Your milk drops and mine will just start shooting out. So for her, it's like a keg stand, right? So she's like this and she's like, gulp, gulp, poor thing. And then she chokes and then she screams and cries at me. So like that was hard because I had to deal with how to manage my forceful letdown, which means I have to like feed her like this. So she's on top rather than like keg standing the milk. And then I can like express some of it out right before, but how do you have time to do that when like the baby's crying for food? Like, yeah, so yeah.
Colostrum.
Colostrum, yay, Brett.
Took a while.
So colostrum.
When I Googled it, it was just a bunch of diseases.
Bile.
Yeah, colostrum is what comes out first to like load up the baby and then you get the milk. But it's, it's difficult. And then you're on the, the baby's hungry. Sometimes she'll cluster feed, so it's every hour. Other than that, maybe it's every 3 hours. So at night, yeah, you go to bed and you're like, okay, I'm like 2 hours, 3 hours, she's gonna be hungry again. And then you hold them up and then you burp them and then you change them. And then it's already like, okay, I have an hour to sleep. So it's a lot, like it's really a lot. I definitely didn't think parenthood would be this hard. I did not think it would be this hard. I thought it would be like the first 2 weeks, all she did was sleep. And Mark and I were like, we took her out to dinner. We thought like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
And then week 3 hit and my mom warned me. She's like, after the 3rd week, they'll like finally like be a little bit more aware where they're not just conked out sleeping. And it's like you have to manage like their cries and what does this cry mean and what does that and bouncing them to bed and it's a lot. I'm so tired. I did not sleep last night or any night since I gave birth.
What move does the baby like to go to sleep?
Oh, so my God, there's a
the windshield wiper?
That's a good one. We've tried them all. That's where you do this right here?
Just this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Mark will do that. Okay, so what we've learned, so there's a book by Dr. Harvey Karp, and it tells you how to soothe a fussy baby and how to put a baby down, and there's the 5 S's. So first you swaddle them, because they want to, remember the 4th trimester, Brett? You kept bringing this up, Brett kept bringing it up.
Kids.
So the 4th trimester is basically the baby, you wanna make sure the baby feels like she's still or he's still in the womb. So when they freak out, you immediately swaddle them tight, 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 and then they'll listen to the other S's. So they're swaddled, they might fight it for 2 seconds, then they feel tight, and then after swaddling, you put them on their side. Obviously not when they go to bed. They recommend put them on their back when they go to bed. But you put them on their side, they like being on their side, then you shush, so shh, shh, shh. Then you sway, and Sophie likes figure 8s, and a little tap on her butt like a heartbeat, like bump, 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 bump.
Oh my God.
So, and then after that, and then you sway, and then you suckle. So like if you're gonna give them a pacifier, maybe they're hungry, and it works. Like once we adopted the 5 S's, especially the swaddling, because at first we were like, she doesn't like it because she'd cry right away. Like they don't like having their, but then once they're in it, they love it. But it's like, you just gotta get it fast. We were so slow in the beginning. We were like, okay, and she's like, eh. So yeah, once you master the swaddle, like you can knock them out pretty quickly. So that, I think once I read that book, it really changed.
And you have a pacifier?
I do have a pacifier, but she rejects it. And they say to wait like 4 to 6 weeks anyways, because you don't want to have nipple confusion.
Yeah, well, tell me about it.
Brett still has it.
Brett still has nipple confusion.
Don't know what it is.
But I mean, it's a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. And I think it's because of the sleep deprivation. It definitely tests your marriage already. I'm only 6 weeks in, and there's been moments where I'm like so in love with Mark watching him hold Sophie, and there's moments where I'm like so resentful or so like annoyed with him.
Why?
Is this
sleep deprivation?
I was
hands
say,
down.
Is
And
this
hormones.
the postpartum?
It could be. It could be like, I think anybody would be insane when you're getting an hour of sleep every night.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because like I said, like if the baby's, I mean, it'll get better. Like by 8 weeks, I guess she'll sleep like 4 to 6 hour stretches. But then again, in between those stretches, she might wake up, or she might be stirring, or she might go to the bathroom, or so you don't get sleep, like you don't. And so I think the sleep deprivation will make anybody like irritable and annoyed and impatient. And then the hormones has a lot to do with it too. Like it totally does. So yeah.
Okay, so I could write a book about depression, but I don't know shit about postpartum. What is it?
Postpartum depression?
Yeah.
So I don't know enough about it either. I go to my postpartum appointment tomorrow with Dr. Jessica, and I'm gonna tell her everything that I've been experiencing, and then she can tell me if what I'm experiencing is normal and just in alignment with the lack of sleep and learning how to take care of a human being and how your life's completely different. And I mean, I didn't leave the house for 5 weeks. I mean, we would go like to eat real quick, but it's quick, it's fast, and you're bouncing the baby, and it's just different. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you no longer, like, showering's insane. If Mark's not there, I have her in like a rocker right next to the shower curtain, and my foot's out as I'm washing, and I'm
so dangerous.
Yeah.
That's really
I'm bouncing.
dangerous.
I mean, what can you do?
Go hard to go.
Don't you have one
Gotta
of those
do.
things that does this?
An electric one, she hates it. She likes the one that I have to manually do.
Who gave you that one? It wasn't us, right? We didn't give you that.
No,
We
we
gave
got
you
a play
something.
mat from you guys.
We got you a play.
Yeah, we just started play mat.
What did
oh,
we
yeah,
get?
the bouncy. Or no, the play mat. Yeah, the jungle thing.
God, we
yeah,
got
the
you
play
such
mat.
good gifts.
But Bree, like, you would want, like, you're gonna experience all these different emotions, but I can't imagine, just even if you're a healthy individual, like, how you're not gonna feel so tired and irritable and all those things. So Mark and I are like, we're just learning. We're learning, and we're learning to support one another. And
Yeah, I was gonna
Family-
ask you.
yeah, go for it.
Sorry, I'm here today, you guys.
I'm sorry.
Just kidding. Sam, like, your Mark's relationship, like, how has that evolved now since you? I mean, you guys are
up and down. Like,
Yeah.
believe me, like, I have a full new love for him. And again, I'm just telling you everything. It is the best. It has been the best 6 weeks of my life. Like, I look at Sophie and, like, that's all
I thought
I
we had
want to
some
be.
pretty good times together, but fine, I get it.
That's all. I just want to be with Sophie. Sorry, Brett. Just want to be with Sophie. But it's like, it is really hard too, and I want people to know that. Like, it is hard when, like, I'm bouncing Sophie and Mark's asleep, but then Mark will get up and he'll change her and he does the best he can. But at the end of the day, she needs my boob. So it's like, then I'm like, why am I going to wake him up to change her when, like, I'm already up? So you just go through, like, it's evolved in the sense that, like, I love him so much when he's so like, oh yeah, let me change the diaper, and oh, let me hold, like, the way he is with Sophie, yeah, you fall way harder in love with them, but then you're so tired that you can't help but be short with them.
Right.
Yeah.
You just
Right.
can't, like, you
Right.
can't. So it's been up and down. Like I said, it's the best of times and it's the worst of times. Like,
Sure.
it is the best of times, but there's moments where you're like, oh my fucking God, what is happening? Like, you've been crying for 4 hours, you're still not going to bed, I'm so fucking tired. Like, what do you do? Like,
Right.
but then you learn, like, now I'm learning her cues. I know when she's hungry, I know when she's tired, so.
Awesome. What are her cries like?
Okay,
Hungry cry.
Her
give it
hunger
to me.
cry is rhythmic. It's wah, 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 wah. Her overstimulated cry first, before she's hungry, like, she'll show me signs. She'll root, which is like her mouth like going like this, or she'll like bite her fingers, and then I can prevent her from crying. But sometimes you miss it, like, it could happen really quick. So then you hear the rhythmic crying, you're like, oh shit. And then her overstimulated cry is a laughter and a cry. So she just is like, even though her laughters aren't genuine right now, it's just this like nerve. And she'll look away from you. So she's like, I can't with you right now, and she'll look away.
So what does it sound like?
I'm not gonna do it. It's like a laughter and a cry.
It's like my reaction whenever Brett speaks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then her tired cry is like a bout, like a little like, wah. And then it's like they don't know how to put themselves to sleep. So they're so tired, and you don't want them to get too tired. And so yeah, it's yeah, it's so when you learn those things, then you can kind of have like a peace of mind and a confidence. And now that I know like the 5 S's and to hold her tight, it's like you can like avoid all that crying, because in the beginning we didn't know how to stop that crying, and that puts a lot of stress on you in your relationship, because you're just like, stop crying. You feel bad for them.
You're so like, in your normal, like, you're such a confident person, Samantha. Has in the last 6 weeks since you've given birth to Sophie, has there been a time where you're just like, I can't do this?
Yes,
like,
totally.
what am I like?
Totally. Like, I'm not a good mom. Why doesn't she like my milk? Because of the forceful letdown. Why can't I put her to bed? Why can't blah, blah, blah. Like, believe me, like, all of those things where I just feel like a failure. And then you start to learn her, and then you go, okay, I am enough. Like, I'm starting to get that point. I'm sure it's gonna dip down again, but right now I feel pretty confident, even though last night was a hard night. Like, yeah, the beginning's really hard. But again, it's amazing. Like, I don't want to deter anybody out there that's pregnant right now, because it's the most incredible experience. And every day, like when she smiles, or like when we do her morning stretches, you're just like, oh my God, she stretches so cute.
What are the morning stretches?
When she wakes up, I'll put her like on me, and we'll like unzip her little onesie, and we'll like put her little arms up, and she full blown is like, And then she'll like, we'll massage, we do baby massages. So we'll massage her feet and she loves it. We'll massage her tummy, which helps her go to the bathroom.
Oh, I do this to Riggs.
And it's the cutest thing. So it's like, yeah, then you immediately forget that you're sleep deprived and everything. So it's amazing, but there are hard times and don't be afraid to talk about it. And then I think, yeah, the next time we're gonna talk a little bit more about Sophie and then, so stay tuned, but please, new moms out there or just moms in general, give me tips. I wanna know all the tips to soothing a baby, getting a baby to go to sleep, what you and your partner do when you're both like frazzled and flustered. Please let us know in the comment section. And I love you guys.